All right. Well, hey, neighbors. Welcome to Matthew's Shed Shop. Boy, just another blow. I switched to my internal memory on the phone here, and I just started this video, and it was only 8 minutes long, and I messed it up. So I decided to start over because I don't have time to learn how to edit right now. We have a neighbor. His name is Derek. We're just going to go first name for now. I will probably ask Derek's permission, but I also know he's the kind of neighbor, he's not going to care if we put his saw on YouTube or mention his name on YouTube. And I hope Derek ends up subscribing to the channel. And we're all human beings, you guys. We're all human beings swimming in a super life. I said something in one of my videos and I really liked it. I said, life is shit. And I followed that with, it is poop that comes out the butthole. So we got to love one another. Essentially, the saw was stored in a certain way for the season. And in a way, I've stored my saws, and in a way, many people I know with some fuel stabilizer. I will go into detail. That's it. Derek did some seafoam. I love seafoam. And the next season, Derek's saw just would only run on full choke, but it was running away on full choke only. You try to throttle, it dies. Try to turn choke off, it dies. We did a vacuum pressure test. Derek, you can see the video if you haven't already of when we vacuum pressure tested your saw. It was one of the first ones I put on YouTube here on the channel. And so his saw passed the vac pressure test, but you can see in the video I did explain there's just a few little areas that if there was a pinhole, the way I plug it up, I'm not using a specialty tool. I'm using my own setup. You guys can see that in the vac pressure test videos, what I do. And then Derek bought a Chinese carburetor, and unfortunately Derek has lost his OEM carb. That is why his saw has been here so long, partly anyways, is because he was searching for the carb. I haven't exactly found one online. I've been extremely busy, and unfortunately both Derek and I have faltered in communicating with one another. My stubbornness, I guess, I'm so busy. I'm like, you know what, if a guy's not going to respond to my calls, he's not going to call me back, he's not going to answer text messages. But you know what, Derek is trying to get a business off the ground too, and he's got a family. I'm busy. And so, unfortunately, I faltered in my ability to give him grace for being a human being that's swimming in the poop that comes out of the butthole soup life. Okay, so Derek, I repent. Please forgive me. I know we've already discussed that a little bit, and I know Derek already forgives me, or his stuff wouldn't still be here. Okay, so I'm going to turn you guys down to the saw. My organized chaos on my bench right now. Okay, this is Jonsered here. You know what I need to do? I have a 450 Rancher here that I thought it said the 450 or the 455, but they must have a different carb. I don't have any 455s in my shop. I've got a 55, but that carburetor's not going to work. It's a different setup. I probably could make something work and rig it up. I just don't have time right now. And so I just want something that will fit on the way it's supposed to fit on. And that's it. Let me get this stuff bagged, you guys. I'm going to pause you guys real quick. All right. I'm going to show you guys one of the tricks I do to keep things organized and to keep stuff with the saws. I like to take Ziploc bags and I put a little hole up here where it's strong. And plus that means that it's still, if I need it to be sealed, airtight or watertight. And I love to take the zip ties. Now, I need to get cable ties because those you can reuse. And so I do need to save money where I can. I don't cut corners on neighbor stuff, and I don't cut corners on parts on stuff that I refurbish. But if I can reuse plastic bags, that I do for the landfill purpose. If I can reuse gloves, sometimes I reuse my gloves if they don't get that dirty. I'll blow air in and take them off and reuse them for different purposes. If that doesn't affect the quality of my product. You know, if it doesn't affect the quality of my product and I can save money, I have to. Because that's where I can make sure I don't have to cut corners on saws. And so I just zip tie that, usually to the chain brake handle or wherever you can, and then you don't lose your stuff. And it works great. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Alright, so here's what we got. Derek's CS2255. You guys, I don't have the IPL. I did try to quickly find an IPL on the internet, but unfortunately, I just wasn't able to. My internet is way too slow for me to dig through different things. I'm just not a tech guy. This is what the carburetor looks like. Here's what we're doing. Derek Murphy. I just said his last name and I can't shoot this video again. I don't know how to edit that out. He's a neighbor. That's a common name. Derek, I'm real sorry. I'm going to get your permission before I post this video, I guess. That's what I'll have to do since I can't edit. Okay, so there we go then. Derek Murphy. Here's the deal, buddy. You don't have a bill on this saw, and here's what I'm doing. I'm tearing this thing all the way down. We're going to clean it, and we're going to find out if we got some kind of pinhole. Maybe our ring gap. Maybe our rings are worn. You know, maybe the decom valve, even though it doesn't leak, is bad, you know. So we're just going to go through his whole saw and start inspecting things. We've tried an aftermarket coil on this, thinking maybe the secondary on the coil wasn't picking up. We've tried a different spark plug. We've replaced many of the lines. And so at this point, I have fuel line and primer bulbs and spark plugs and decom valves and coils and all that. And so we're just going to go ahead and he replaced some of the fuel lines. I'm going to do it. Sometimes I don't like, people say, well, I replaced this and I replaced that already. Well, that's fine and good and dandy. But the problem is, I can charge you $25 to sit here and put all of your lines and your hoses and stuff on a vacuum pressure tester and see if they pass the test that Husqvarna essentially on this one says they need to pass. Or I can charge you $25 to replace them all. At this point, instead of doing that, we're just gonna, there's no bill. Derek believes in Jesus. And so essentially, if Derek wants to make a donation to helping me fix my home that is dangerous, and that's what the shed shop is about. We need to fix our home. That's why I'm doing this. We have mold and we have different things, and the funds are not there. So right now, I'm carrying the burden of home improvement. So I know Derek will give me a fair number if I get his saw running right on top of his parts. Derek, the only thing you're going to pay for is parts, buddy. Fuel lines and stuff, we're just going to get new stuff. They're cheap. If I already have it, you're not going to pay for it. If I have to order it, I might have to charge you for it. But that's about it. The reason I'm doing this is because he's just not ready to give up on this saw, and neither am I. He's right. Seafoam, I'm sorry, a little bit of seafoam for the winter should not have made a saw that we've fully retuned and changed lines and rubbers and stuff. Now, we haven't changed the manifold rubbers, and I was feeling it today, and I wonder it might be sucking closed, the impulse rubber, for the choke up here, but I don't know yet. I don't know yet, but we're just going to, instead of sitting here spending hours and hours trying to continuously replace one thing at a time, we're just essentially going to treat this as it's a complete rebuild. And we're going to pray that we can get this saw running, because I really would love to put this back in this man's hands as a running chainsaw. And not only that, but a cleaned up running chainsaw. You can usually tell the people that bring stuff to my shop that have taken care of their saw and don't beat it up. And I don't think Derek beats his saw up. I think he keeps his chain tension proper. I look at his sprocket and I'm thinking, wow, it looks like a brand new sprocket. When I see a saw that's being used every season to cut firewood, his clutch is a little loose. We might have to rebuild or put new springs in it, but that's nothing. We got those springs. And when I see that, I think, yeah, this person is not abusing their equipment. Not all my neighbors are like that. Some of us abuse our stuff. I abuse my saws sometimes. I'm in a hurry. I don't feel like sharpening my chain. I'm just, because I can rebuild it. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. If you know anything about two-stroke motors, here's what this saw's doing. Again, it'll start up. When you choke it, it starts up, and it'll run as long as you don't touch the choke or don't touch the throttle. It'll run wide open, screaming on full choke. Yeah, guys, that's what it's doing. And I know what that screams, not screams. I know what the symptoms of that can be, and we've eliminated most of it. we just haven't done it extensively enough. When you know, yeah, the customer replaced the neighbor, Derek replaced his fuel lines, but what if we have a fuel line collapsing and pinching closed because of the pressure? So if we don't check and see if our fuel lines, and I will end up probably doing that. I just want to know what was wrong with the saw. So that's it, you guys. Please give me information, give me ideas of what you think might be the problem. Go down in the comments below. This is when I really want to see activity on this video. We are trying to help a neighbor out. He was the very first one to bring a saw to Matthew's shed shop. Okay, he brought 2 to me. His CS400 is sitting over there. Well, my CS400 is sitting over there. He has surrendered it for the labor bill, which is what we kind of figured might happen if we put a few hours. I put about 6 hours into it, and that was it. And so he's allowed me to have that to donate for my time put in on his saw. And so please, guys, whatever information you have, thoughts, ideas, what do you think? And do you think Derek is right for wanting his Jonsered CS2255 to keep running? Because Derek says he likes this saw and it's a good saw, and I gotta trust the man. He likes it, says it's a good saw. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, share, subscribe. Definitely comment on this one, please. Anybody research, if you're willing, please help me out here. Help Derek out. And most importantly, hit the bell notification so you know when I post new videos. And you guys, please love one another. Be kind to one another. Everybody's facing a battle. You don't know what your neighbor might be going through. And you have a bad day and you're not nice to somebody, go say sorry. Just go say sorry. Let's spread more love, you guys. Let's spread more love.